Chairman, I want to thank the two chairs and the ranking members for this hearing. I had 7 veterans forums last week at the beginning of the week, and what Congressman O'Rourke mentioned is something I hear often. I just spend all my 2 minutes sort of recounting all the stories that I've heard over the 7 years that I've been in office, so I won't do that. I just want to broaden out the discussion of mental health a little bit, if I may. Good to see you again, Dr. Woodson. I hope you'll chime in on this as well. And Dr. Petzel, it's really important what Congresswoman Davis brought up, the suicide issue, but I'd like to go a little bit further than that, talk about transitioning from DOD to VA, in particular from active duty to the VA, and with respect to the mental health care system that's in existence now with DOD and then going to the VA. Can both of you speak to that issue, please?
Yes, I'd be happy to start, and thank you again for this question, which is a really important topic. As we know, mental health issues have become one of the signature health issues out of the decade plus of war. As Dr. Petzel said several moments ago, he and I have worked very, very closely together to harmonize and advance the care relative to mental health. It begins with a group that has been working on an integrated mental health strategy so that we are enhancing the practice guidelines even as we hand off service members who are transitioning to veteran status. We have a robust collaborative effort on research to advance our understanding of treatment strategies that are important. We have a significant collaborative effort to ensure transition is smooth in transition programs, making sure that there is a follow-up at the VA. We have developed a series of initiatives that are looking at what kind of care is being delivered and its effectiveness, and we discuss this every month in terms of how to move this ball forward. The development of applications that can be used by individuals who might have PTSD to enhance resolution of their symptoms. What has been interesting, and this goes to a question that was asked earlier about suicide, is that we've learned something from the studies that have been done in the Department of Defense and in the Department of Veterans Affairs, that in fact we have slightly different issues relative to the cohorts that we need to focus on and how we need to tailor some of our suicide prevention programs and campaigns. So within the Department of Defense, the biggest profile at risk are the young individual, first-time enlisted, who has financial problems, relation problems, maybe previous family problems prior to coming into the service. Whereas in the Veterans Affairs, it's the vet in the 50s or 60s with additional qualifiers. And so it's been very important to understand that bimodal set of events so that we can individually address what might be the factors for the people in our society and the people we're responsible for that are most at risk. But the bottom line message I want to leave you with is that Dr. Petzel and I, as the people principally responsible for this, work enormously closely together to try and enhance our understanding, treatment strategies, prevention. And I would just say that, you know, we're doctors, and so we don't just concentrate on medical issues. We're talking about how to develop comprehensive programs writ large to get communities involved, the crisis line, try and educate families about risk factors and profiles of people at risk. So we co-sponsor a suicide prevention conference to bring our people together to look at what we should be doing and what advances should be made. So difficult problem, but we are 110% after this together.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, could I add just 30 seconds to what Dr. Woodson said? Thank you. 2 things. Number one is that we have a series of case managers that we share that transit the seriously ill and injured people from the DOD into the VA healthcare system, and this includes people with serious mental illness. We are hoping that the Transition Assistance Program, the new TAP, is going to have in it an even better way of making a hot transfer for people that are ill, not necessarily in this seriously ill or injured group, but do need that kind of transition. And the last thing I'd comment on, just to reiterate what Dr. Woodson said, I've been in the VA for a long time. I've worked with DOD for a long time. The level of collaboration and cooperation in the clinical sphere in medicine right now is unprecedented. I mean, absolutely. We share so much and do so many things now jointly that we wouldn't have even dreamed of 5 or 6 years ago.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Chair, for indulging for such a lengthy period.
Mr. Kaufman?
Answer. Thank you.